Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your sensei Al Bob. This guy right here. You're going to tell you a story. Let's see what Thor has to say about the weather.
Mercury, Mars, Ceres, and the Sun. There is a lot of Scorpio energy right now. Tony Dun 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 is letting us know that an asteroid will pass through Earth's Antumbra in a few hours. It's dim and observatory telescopes. Talking about asteroid 2023.
The banking system, or gangsters or whatever you want to call them, have collectively, through thousands of years, had set up a situation where they can manipulate people to superimpose a legal system that is not based entirely on law, it's based on commerce. And as we'll get into it, I'll explain that we are not operating in a common law system anymore, although the common law is still here and we need to understand how to access it and how to use it to our advantage. But most people, unfortunately, are so ignorant of what the law is or what the codes are or what the statutes actually say and how they particularly apply to them. They just are used to functioning in a consensus reality that, oh, well, at 18 or 16, everyone gets a driver's license. And, when I work, everyone fills out a 1040 IRS tax form, or because he said, or because your parents said, or because your parents were particularly indoctrinated in a system where everyone is functioning perpetually in this let's pretend game. The whole system is set up about one thing: money, because the banks, through their politicians and legislational system, they set up a body of laws to further extract money, or set up a system that money is always flowing up. It's being extracted out of your bodies, out of your sweat equity, out of your labor. So the whole thing is based about one thing: commerce. And the system that we operate, if you understand Admiralty, it's a very esoteric system, because the banking has been operating longer than 6,000 years, probably longer than recorded history, longer than the Code of Hammurabi, etc. But the mother is a vessel, or all of us are vessels, because our bodies are a warehouse, and you live within the confines of your skin if you take the concept that you're a spiritual being. Okay, so it's an energy vessel. So the mother is a vessel delivering a product, swimming down the rivers of the birth canal, and it's delivered to the dock, or the dock door. And what is it? It's delivery of a human resource, because that's all we're considered. And we're talking about money. You're a human resource. So what is money? It's energy. That's all it is. The system is set up that it's the control and flow of energy from generally the bottom up, the basis of the foundation of the people, up into the hands of the bankers that further perpetuate and dictate more laws to further extract money. And we'll demonstrate this in just a moment.
Looking for something on Google? Search the web with real and organic search results, and do it without anyone tracking your activity or data. We ourselves use Atlas VPN to protect our data online. Atlas VPN is more than just any other VPN. It blocks all malicious.
That's the certificate of live birth. That's the B-stroke 6. That's the let's pretend game. The construct that is law has two kinds of people. In fact, a spiritual being isn't it? You won't find a spiritual being in a law dictionary, but you'll find the definition of a person. But peculiar enough, the definition of a person, they try to get you caught up with a natural person. But how do you define a word with its own word? That's a peculiarity in itself. So person includes a natural person, a firm, a co-partnership, or an association, or a limited liability company or corporation. The entire essence of the let's pretend game is to get you to be one of these things: a corporation functioning in a state of fascism, in a limited liability world, a let's pretend game where no one takes responsibility for their actions. So we get into the construct of what the physical world versus the legal world is. You have the world of land, which they try to superimpose this matrix body over, of the world of admiralty. In the Constitution, which is predicated upon common law, we deal in the world of gold and silver. What happened to that, guys? Now we're dealing with Federal Reserve notes, which a note, by definition, is evidence of a debt. And anyone heard of national debt? Or how about income tax? All income tax does is go to pay national debt. It doesn't pay the streets. It doesn't pay the national debt, but the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve came into act in 1913. And that's a whole story in itself. And the taxes that are generated as a result of using Federal Reserve notes, Who collects that?
Book of First Enoch.
The IRS. When were they started? The same year as the Federal Reserve, 1913. But guess where the IRS is based on, guys? Puerto Rico. It's not even an agency of the United States government. You know, that's a whole story in itself. So all money in society nowadays is generated a result of your potential and what you put into the system. Because Federal Reserve notes, they have no value whatsoever. They're backed entirely on the full faith and credit of the U.S. population. So with
Well, there's a little primer for you. So, love somebody, you know? Don't get caught up in, how am I going to pay my bills? Oh. Don't spend any money. That's how I pay my bills. I don't spend any money. If I don't have money to spend, I don't spend it. Period. Now, back in the day when I was a corporate boy, you know, for about 18 years, you know, I spent money like it was going out of style. And I was conservative to those other guys. I had them pay. When we went out to lunch, I never paid it. When we went on a trip or this or that, I never paid it. They did, because they were making 10-figure salaries, but living paycheck to paycheck. How do you do that? You have a 10-figure salary. How do you live from paycheck to paycheck? Because you spend more money than you have. Right? And so I had investments and all kinds of things of that nature. And, you know, before around 06, 07, I got rid of everything because I knew a crash was coming. When I looked at the bond market and how things were going upside down between short-term and long-term bonds, I said, uh-oh. And, you know, the cost of gas was going through the ceiling, and other major commodities were like, uh-oh. So, you know, we're even in a weirder situation today. So, and, you know, I would say there's many things going on. Just, you know, like Thor was talking about everything's in Scorpio. You know, Plato said it's a wise man who's guided by the stars, a fool who is led by them, right? So that's what I'm saying is don't be led around like a bovine with a ring in your nose, you know? So what can I say? I'm out and about doing errands. My neighbor let me his truck for today. So I'm very much restricted to my friends who have beaters who drop them off at my place when they're not needing them. But usually they want me to go do things for them with their beaters. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing things for this guy, which is fine by me. You know, it gets me out, gets me to talk to you. I think I'm going to go have breakfast, and if I do that, I'll come back and talk to you. But I'm just, hey there, Fish, how you doing, girl? Yeah, I'm getting up early, doing a whole bunch of things, and it's what it is. Okay,